Hello, investors. It is Connor Bates, Associate Portfolio Manager with Revere Asset Management. Today is Wednesday, November 27th, 4:18 p.m. Eastern Time, coming to you with tonight's Revere Roundup Daily Market Insight video. Market state still in an uptrend. And if we look at the trend gauge over here, still the four coveted green arrows. How we look at market leaders, they're acting great to us. Short term, we're trending above the 21-day moving average, medium term above the 50-day, and long term still above the 200-day moving average. So what happened today? Well, it's a holiday week. Thanksgiving's tomorrow, and you tend to see low volume range trading typically on these shortened weeks. But that wasn't the case for Bitcoin today. Looks like it might want another shot at that 100,000 level, and it held the 21-day for the first time on this pullback from the base. So good to see there. Final numbers 21 over 21 up 0.42%. Big 8 down 0.67%, RG8 down 0.14%, S&P down 0.38%, RSP down 0.12%, QQQ down 0.79%, Equal Weight down 0.66%, Dow Jones Industrial Average down 0.26%, Mid Caps down 0.3%. Russell 2000 up 0.14%, 60/40 stock and bond pretty much flat, up 0.07%, and in-house GROTECTION down 0.57%. Excuse if I'm sounding a little bit off today. I'm coming down with a cold. But with that, as usual, inter-asset correlation. So let's start with the chart of the S&P 500 and, good action. The 6,000 level continues to be a resistance. And, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Consolidating a little bit up here, potentially building some momentum for the next leg higher. The 21-day and the 50-day are catching up to price. So working off some extensions there, only about 3% above the 50-day. And you can see back here we got 4.7 historically, 5%. So just based on looking back, this can get 5, 6, 7% above the 50-day before usually cooling off. And whether that's via price or time is to be determined. And basically, yeah, there's this chart looks great. We continue to build higher lows. And just to be proactive on the other side, what would make us shift our stance is obviously if we failed breakout up here, we build a lower high and then we start a trend. We start breaking these higher lows. That would be a trend change. But for now, as you can see, we just continue to stair step higher, and the trend is higher lows. RSP, similar thing here again, continues to build higher lows, trending up. QQQ, a little bit of relative weakness, and this has been the case for a couple weeks now, and you can see this RS line is just virtually flat, going nowhere. But this is still looking constructive, building higher lows. This 50 days pretty close to price now here, so only 2% above, but still holding above 500. That's a key spot, and we'll see. Maybe this just needs a little bit more time. And if we look at some of the mega caps are looking pretty coiled. Apple's on the verge of coming out of a pretty nice base. Microsoft, has been lagging, but you could argue, it's coming against a pretty big downtrend line from the highs here. And look at how coiled all these moving averages are. Tesla, one of the better ones of the bunch, pulling back, let that 21-day catch up. You have Meta, underperformance since this high, but these moving averages are starting to get coiled with the trend line here. So we'll see if this can crack to the upside. And then you have Google, which, not much relative strength, but if this does start to bounce, it has some room higher, and this could help the Qs. Mag 7 forming a pretty nice flag here, looks constructive. Dow Jones, again, same story, building higher lows and continues to trend, moving averages pointing up. So, nothing to be concerned about on the indexes right now. If we broke the 50-day and we started putting in lower highs, that would make us concerned. Mid caps continue to move higher, major relative strength here in this area of the market. Russell 2000 again. This was a strong 5-day push up here off the 21 days. So maybe some consolidation, base building flag would be good here, but nevertheless, very strong chart. And, a lot of people in 2024, we were kind of waiting to see, is IWM ever going to outperform? And it just really didn't. But this could be a trend going into 2025 is that I don't think many people are talking about it and have it on their bingo cards, but we could see IWM outperforms the S&P and the NASDAQ next year. Certainly you know, for now, what we're seeing in price action, and that will be determined into next year. ARC again fits the narrative of small caps outperforming, forming a nice continuation flag here after the space breakout. VIX 14 handle, good to see. It is kind of in this bounce zone, but have we seen over here, this can stay below 15 for weeks to months on end, and even, dip down below to sub 12. The dollar, good to see this starting to pull back into the 21 day, kind of steep uptrend line here. So maybe if we continue to live below here, we could start making lower highs and move down, should provide some fuel to equities. Gold, not doing a whole lot, just kind of living below the 50-day here. Gold stocks as well got relief off the 200-day, but again, got a lot of overhead in this space. So, nothing too much to comment there. Silver, again, not much to comment either, coming back down into the 200-day. Bitcoin, star of the show today. And, this candle pulled back yesterday and then really powerful statement day today, back with the AEMA. And yeah, I mean, short term, you could argue it's a little bit extended, but this was a 6 to 8 month base and it's just breaking out. So, as we've seen in the past, some of these big base breakouts lead to big moves. Bonds rallying into the 50-day, TLT, same thing, 250-day. And that coincides with the rates kind of starting to live below this steep uptrend line that it had. So that's good to see, and we've seen some strength in some of these rate sensitive sectors as well. Again, similar look here. So that's the inter-asset correlation. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Reminder, so stocks above the 5-day moving average. So we hit pretty overbought earlier this week, and now this is starting to cool down, which is good to see. And then reminder, tomorrow the markets are closed for Thanksgiving and we have a half trading day on Friday. We continue to hold this S&P range, holding QQQ 500, mid and small caps relative strength, and the dollar starting to come down. So good there. And then still watching those keys into Friday as well. Treating this day as like a consolidation day after up 5 days above the 8, 8 days above the 21. Some sectors wise, WGMI, this is Bitcoin miners, super strong today. Bitcoin, very strong. Biotech, real estate, strong as well. They're kind of getting a bid here with rates coming down. And then retail is breaking out of a big base. Seen some good earnings reports there, and financials were strong. IGV software pulling back a little bit today. That's good. That sector got pretty extended. So could provide some opportunities on the pullback. Semiconductors weak again as well. Nvidia struggling at the 50-day moving average. Transport strong, transport's weak, industrials weak, and regional banks all just seeing some orderly pullbacks. In-house today, we sold our Dell position. Negative reaction on earnings today. And we added back a piece of Reddit we sold higher a couple days ago as well, offering a good risk to reward. So that made our adjusted beta down to 1.83. Basically, bottom line from today, Bitcoin outperforms while general market chops on low volume. So let's get into some charts of interest. So Dell sold this one today, gap down to the 200-day on earnings, on volume. Just not the reaction you want to see on earnings. So parted ways with that. And then Reddit, we added to this one, forming a nice flag here off the AEMA. And then you can see, and you got that 60-minute stochastic hook back and confirming back above this downtrend line. So it's good action there. So that was in-house today. Take a look at semiconductors, very, very weak action here. And you have to ask yourself, you got Nvidia sitting right at the 50-day. Maybe this undercut and reclaims the 50-day and moves higher, but this starting to roll over. You're really lacking leadership in the sector. Avgo, looks bad. ARM looks bad. LRCX, ASML, all these, same story. So very, very weak sector. And if you look at this, right, it's back below the 200-day moving average. The 50-day actually crossed below, and this is kind of got a long stage three top here in my eyes. So coming back down into this neckline here could undercut and reclaim back above, but nevertheless, definitely some notable weakness here. And this was the sector to be for the last 1.5 to 2 years, and starting to look like that's going to change, and there'll be better opportunities like we've seen. Like ARC was in the gutter for the past 2 years, and now this is breaking out of a stage one base. So market might be telling you that rotation out of semis into other growthy sectors has been working lately. Take a look at the 21 over 21 list from best performers to worst. MSTR bounced off the 21-day yesterday, now putting in a nice, starting to come back up. And this looks awfully similar to SMCI. I'll just show you guys. SMCI did like almost the same thing. Climax top bar pulled back to the 21 and then proceeded. This was the 21-day pullback here, and then proceeded to move like 60, 70% off that. So, and if you look at MSTR, I'll bring that chart back up. Looks very similar. So that's something to watch. And if Bitcoin's gonna break out through 100,000, I would imagine MSTR is gonna move with it. SMR continues just to trend, holding this trend line, a super strong name in the nuclear theme. Covered Bitcoin, covered Reddit. Snow acting super good. Had that strong earnings gap, and now it's just forming a nice looking flag here. And software continues to be a good sector to be in right now. Palantir, seeing similar action is a lot of these super extended leaders are just digesting at the highs, and to me, that's very bullish. Toll Brothers breaking out of a nice multi-week flat base and seeing some more strength into home builders. Bros continues to ride higher. This one looks good, just acting phenomenal. And this is another, big stage one base breakout, and these can lead to big moves. We own, and the green flag symbols means we own it in-house. Team continues to trend up. ITB, so we bought now the other day. So we added this into the 21 over 21 list, and we ditched Dell as that's a harsh break below. But pulling back, this one looks constructive, especially if rates continue to come down. LNG, great trend. Natural gas stocks are strong. Toast, leader in the fintech space. And again, pretty extended, but look at how well these stocks are digesting up at the highs. And you can see this just got ants characteristics up here. Carvana, digesting at the highs. XPO, similar thing. Sprouts Farmers Market, just riding the moving averages higher. Deckers broke out of this nice looking flat base and now letting those moving averages catch up. Twilio, strong earnings gap follow through. Tesla, maybe just needs to touch this 21 day, but overall still looks good. Big picture, we've talked about this many times. Looks great for upside into next year across multiple time frames. VRT pulling back to the 21 day. CLS, similar look, and then ALAB as well, pulling back to the 21 day and down 5.5%. But you have to know the character of your stock. This is a more higher beta stock, so 5.5% is a very normal pullback for ALAB. I wanted to show some sectors. XRT definitely is catching my eye right now, breaking out of this huge base, so definitely could be a theme. And you can see here, really nice weekly base. So this could be a theme here. And you got old ones like Victoria's Secrets. Look at this trend in the retail space. Although A&F did kind of have a negative reaction on earnings today. Some other ones, CrowdStrike reported earnings today, just kind of gapped down to the 21 day. Nutanix had pretty good numbers and negative reversal as well. So starting to see some mixed action in terms of earnings reports. We've had many strong ones, but lately we started to see some weaker ones. So that's something to keep an eye out for. Um, and then yeah, so that's everything I've got for today. Reminder, the market is closed tomorrow for Thanksgiving. And just want to give a shout out. We're super thankful for everyone that's involved with the Revere family, and we appreciate all the support you guys give us watching our videos. And that is going to wrap it. As always, like to hear from you. My email is connor@revereasset.com. And you can always reach out to Dan or Don at revereasset.com. Phone is 855 Real Wealth, 855-732-5932. And if you're ever interested in becoming a client, please reach out. And with that, I'll wrap it for Wednesday, November 27th, 4:33 p.m. Eastern Time. This is Connor Bates with Revere Asset Management, telling it like it is. Thanks for listening, and enjoy Thanksgiving and the day off.